Thank you for tuning in to your monthly Roblox Dev Forum news. I'm your host, Crusher Fire, and we're going to be discussing all of the changes and newly added features for the month of April 2024. There is a large number of announcements to go through, and of course, you can use the chapters in the video below to see all of the changes for this month and skip to the ones you find most interesting. So let's get started. The first April Fool's change for this month was the release of optional announcements integrated with Guilded. If you don't know what Guilded is, it's basically another version of Discord that Roblox owns, and they are trying to push it as a safer alternative to build communities around instead of using Discord. The response to this announcement has been quite mixed, with many developers expressing their dissatisfaction with Guilded and this new update. Roblox says, "Our vision for Roblox groups is to provide the best way for creators to connect with and inform their communities. As a first step towards realizing that vision, today we're launching Announcements, a new, optional integration powered by Guilded. Announcements are a new section on groups featuring rich, long-format content shared from a connected Guilded community that is safe for all ages. They can include hero images up to 1,000 characters, line breaks, emojis, reactions from your community, and so on, blah, blah, blah." It's just another group implementation using Guilded, and if we go down to the replies, it says, "I know you purchased Guilded for a lot of money, but why do we have to connect our Guilded server with it? Having announcements built into the website would be better." Some people say, "Awesome update. Groups have needed some updates for a while now. Glad to see you guys coming up with new group features." But of course, if you look at the like ratios between those two different comments, you can kind of see people are leaning more against this update than for it. This person quoted, "Why do I need to use Guilded to get these new improvements over shouts? Guilded's feature set supports a wide array of rich content, including announcement channels that support images and long-form messages. Integrating Guilded into Roblox groups allows us to introduce value to groups owners fast and iterate even faster. Correction. You're desperate for people to use Guilded, but fail to realize they won't, because no matter how hard you keep trying, people will always like Discord more." The next update for this month was the release of 2 new beta APIs for managing group members, including join requests. So this is going to be a good update that will help many developers automate the boring job of handling group join requests, and as we know, automation is incredible for saving time and speeding up development. Roblox states that some creators have been using the Legacy Groups API to automate certain workflows. However, the API is not designed to be used by third-party tools. By integrating with API keys and Authentication 2.0, the Open Cloud Groups API allows you to securely and smoothly manage your group's related workflows. You can now periodically list the pending join requests, define your own logic to evaluate them, and then automatically accept or reject a request. This release includes 3 new methods aimed at enabling join management workflows: listing group join requests, accepting a group join request, and declining a group join request. If this new update is of concern to you, then the link to the full Dev Forum post, of course, will be in the description. Experience Notifications got a new update with a new API that will allow developers to prompt players in-game if they would like to enable notifications for that game. This prompt can only be displayed once every 30 days, and any player who's already subscribed to your game won't receive this notification if you try to prompt them. Roblox states, "Today we're releasing a new notification permission prompt API as a fast follow to help you grow your notifiable audience. This new API allows you to prompt 13 plus users to enable notifications for your experience from within the context of that experience." Definitely a small but neat features for any developers who want to continue improving the retention and engagement of your games. Now, if you haven't noticed already, the Roblox homepage has gotten a new section called Today's Picks. This section is actually more of a test and will be disappearing on May 3rd, and once Roblox has gotten enough data and done their testing, you can likely expect this feature to fully come out sometime in the near future. Roblox states, "We're excited to announce that from April 8th to May 3rd, we will test a pilot of Today's Picks, a brand new sort on home for English language users located in the US. It will be displayed across our iOS, Android, PC, and Mac apps, as well as on Roblox.com. We would like to learn and optimize before we open it up to more regions and languages, so you may see several different configurations of home during the pilot. Stay tuned for updates in the future." Below is an example of Today's Picks curated sort with experience subtitle descriptors. The sort utilizes the new 16:9 experience thumbnail format, and they give us some examples here. And of course, Roblox can't resist the temptation of AI-generated thumbnails, so they just had to put that in there. To have your experience featured on this page, you needed to fill out a survey, but considering very soon that this page is going to be disappearing on May 3rd, filling out the survey is not going to do you any more good. The next update for this month is the addition of automatic translations for the current 16 languages supported on the Roblox platform. By enabling automatic translations, any strings that appear in your experience will be automatically translated to the local language of the region that the player is accessing the game from. This is definitely an awesome feature, and it will greatly expand the audience for your games across the globe. Roblox states that they're excited to announce the automatic translation is now available between all 16 languages we support. You'll be able to easily translate your experience into 15 other languages and make it available for users worldwide. To enable automatic translations, go to the Creator Hub, hover over the experience you want to translate, and click Manage Experience. On the left-hand side, scroll to the audience and click Localization. Here, you will be able to add supported languages, and it takes you step by step on how to enable all of these automatic translations. So if you want to learn more about this, of course, link will be in the description. A more controversial update was released on April 5th that removed player count on experiences displaying 16:9 thumbnails. According to Roblox statistics, by removing the player count, there was an increase in the players discovering unique experiences and an increase in the engagement for new experiences. However, this removal of the player counts for experiences has been received quite negatively. A developer created a poll in the discussion area of this post, with 68% of developers stating that viewing player count on experiences is crucial and should not be removed. But if you continue scrolling through and reading all of the comments, people are quite split on this. Some understand why the player count was removed, but other people also want the player count to remain. So you have people disagreeing with this change, but you have other people saying that they're okay with this decision. So whatever you think, let me know down in the comments below. Notifications have been added to the Creator Hub and Roblox Studio, allowing you to receive notifications about many things related to your experiences. For example, you can receive a notification if there is an issue with the memory stores in your experience, or you can receive a notification when your edit permissions have changed, a small but neat update that should improve the experience for developers on the platform. Roblox states that we're releasing tray notifications to Creator Hub. We've also fully rolled out Studio tray notifications after a successful beta last year. For the Studio notification change, we have made improvements since we first announced the beta. You can now mark all notifications as read. There's light mode support. Who the heck uses light mode? More compact layout, higher quality icons. Reading a notification in one tray will mark it as read in the other one, coming in a few weeks. You have full control over your notification experience. Easily opt out or manage notifications in your settings on the Creator Hub. So if you want to go ahead and take a peek at all of the different notifications that you can toggle in the Creator Hub, then of course, link to this post will be in the description. The next update this month was a little more specific and had to deal with an error on iOS devices. Roblox states that we've received reports that a small portion of Roblox users are seeing a no network error when launching the iOS app despite having a working internet connection. We believe this is a side effect of a recent update in the Roblox iOS app. Our engineers have rolled back the change and the latest version of the Roblox app should be fully functional. Although the issue should automatically fix itself on most platforms, we have heard some iOS users are stuck on an old version of the app. If you continue to see this issue, please open your device's app store, search for Roblox, and tap Update. I don't own an iOS device, but for any of you who were experiencing this particular issue, it should now be resolved, which is great. Now, perhaps the most controversial update of this month was the launch of USD pricing for Studio Marketplace items. All items in the marketplace, things like plugins, have been converted into USD pricing. You are no longer able to sell or purchase plugins for Robux, and the response to this update by the developer community has been extremely mixed, though a majority of developers who engaged in a poll by another developer in the discussion section below stated they disliked the update. So let's take a look at that poll real quick. 74% of Roblox developers who engaged in this poll stated they did not like this update, or a total of 90% if you include all of those who voted in the both option as well. This developer stated that they still want a Roblox option. ID verification, as I have said many times before, is sub-ideal and I'm not older than 18, so now I can't make paid assets. Please just re-add Robux as an option for everybody 13+. USD-based catalog is not as perfect as some people make it look. It should be an option to get the higher profit USD, not a requirement forced on all of us. Roblox seems to have a thing for forcing everybody into things all at once, for better or for worse. This is not the place. All this is doing is opening up the doors wide open for piracy and redistributing for free, which is probably not the idea. Having checked out the store, a lot of the plugins are now super overpriced. Thanks again for forcing $5 minimums. And now the only thing I can say is, why didn't I pick these up for cheap? Not, this is so good, I can now spend real money instead of Robux I earned from a game. It's insane how different Roblox is now. I stopped being a player years ago when that was ruined. Now they're coming for developers. Time to learn Unreal Engine. And if you look at the likes with this reply compared to the likes on the actual post, not a lot of people are happy with this change. Roblox posts terrible update. I'ma head out. Roblox on their way to release some of the most controversial, bizarre, unusual, and unasked for updates. It's all for the metaverse. Trust us, bro. Now, I will have to say that my opinion on this update is mixed. While I do like the ability for developers to now sell their Studio Marketplace options for USD and get a higher cut instead of having to go through the DevX exchange, I don't like how it's only USD. They should have had both options like the developer mentioned in the reply section below. What do you think of this update? Please let me know in the comments. Another new beta feature has been released this month, which is the ability to pause physics simulations while testing in Studio, and it doesn't stop the game entirely or stop all the rendering. You'll still be able to render everything, it's just all the physics will be paused, and this will enable you to basically debug any issues that may arise during the runtime in your game, especially anything relating to physics. This is definitely an awesome feature that will be a great addition to Studio once it has been fully released. Roblox states, with the Studio beta, you will be able to pause the simulation of your scene without disabling rendering. This can help with debugging ephemeral scenes and mechanisms by allowing you to dive deeper into what's visually going on in that moment. And let's go ahead and take a look at the example video here. So as you can see, they're flying a plane and then they pause physics. And look at that, the plane is frozen in the sky, and yet they're still able to interact with the game through the viewport, which is really cool. Roblox has now expanded the eligibility requirements for being a marketplace creator. Before, developers needed to apply with examples of their work to be eligible to create Marketplace UGC. But now, Roblox has expanded this to where any individual who is ID verified and has at least Roblox Premium 1000 can now upload UGC to the catalog. Now this means that the competition in the catalog is going to ramp up like crazy, and we may start to see more spam in the marketplace, but only time will tell with that. Roblox states that they are moving from an application-only process to providing transparent eligibility requirements for creating and selling 3D items on Roblox. Creators who are ID verified, have Roblox Premium 1000 or 2200, and consistently follow our community standards and marketplace policies can upload, publish, and sell in Marketplace. These eligibility requirements allow us to more effectively enforce our marketplace policies and prevent violators from circumventing moderation. This update's also a little bit more controversial. This developer said, finally, let's see just how chaotic this is going to be. And another developer stated, it's interesting to hear about the updates to the Roblox Marketplace and with the requirements you'd need to be eligible, but I hope Roblox can implement stronger moderation measures to prevent the creation of fake UGC limiteds and the theft of intellectual property. Another developer stated, while this is awesome, it's just going to cause a lot more problems to the catalog. Let the wildfire begin. May the imagination power Roblox for 1,000 years. So let's see how this change goes, and let's see how chaotic the catalog is going to get. Another month and more analytics have been added to the Creator Hub. If you're the kind of person who loves to salivate over analytic charts, then this is going to be the update for you. Roblox states today we're updating our acquisition page to help you understand the value of new users acquired from Roblox organic and ad sources. Number 1, view top 5 Roblox sources for new user plays and revenue. Number 2, see how new users retain, engage, and monetize by Roblox source. and they added some additional information and charts in there. If you're concerned about any of this kind of analytics stuff, then you can read more about it in the description below. The minimum part density update that I talked about in an earlier dev forum news has now been released. We are currently in the first stage of the release, where you must opt in to use this feature by enabling a property in the workspace called Decrease Minimum Density Mode. So it says, during the first phase, April 11th to May 12th, these choices will map as follows. The default is going to be opt-out, and then the enabled is opt-in and disabled is opt-out. And then during the second phase, which will start on May 13th, the default is going to be opt-in. And then starting on June 10th, you will not be able to opt out. The minimum part density for all experiences will be 0.0001, which again means that you can make parts lighter than air, and that also means you can make balloons. But if you want to make balloons right now, you're also going to have the Aerodynamics beta enabled in Studio in order to have that kind of floating balloon part effect. And speaking of aerodynamics, a new update was added to the beta that improves the force model that calculates the forces in your game. Roblox states with this update, we have made improvements so your creations will generate higher lift-to-drag ratios. You should notice planes, helicopters, and other flying vehicles experiencing more realistic lift forces without having to ramp up the air density property across your whole experience. For example, in the included GIF above, the air density is set to the default realistic sea level value, and the F-15 model now has a much more realistic mass. And as you can see, the F-15 feels much more realistic lift forces that are able to offset its real world weight now while still maintaining control. Let's go ahead and take a look at that example. Definitely a very cool and neat update. I love seeing this kind of aerodynamic stuff, and once this comes out of beta, it's going to be a total game changer for games on Roblox. They state, we know everyone is awaiting excitedly for when you can publish experiences with aerodynamics. We are putting in the finishing touches on the API, force model, and a number of performance initiatives, and want to ensure it meets a high enough quality bar before experiences take a dependency on it. We appreciate your patience and all the feedback you are providing, and we promise it is coming soon. Linked source scripts are being removed completely, which was an older way for developers to sync changes across scripts in multiple different experiences or games. We obviously now have packages that do the same job and come with more features, so it was inevitable that linked source scripts were going to be removed. If you've never heard of linked source scripts or ever used them, then this change doesn't concern you and you can happily go about your day. If your experience still uses linked source scripts and you haven't converted to packages, then this post is going to go into detail on how to migrate your linked source scripts into packages. A new feature has been added to experiences that allow users to give feedback on translations in your game. If the translation that you added into your game was manual, and the feedback is valid and approved, it will appear inside of the Creator Hub under the localization section where you can view that said feedback. Now, feedback on automatic translations will be used by Roblox themselves to train their translation model. Now, I'm not quite sure how well this Give translation feedback system is going to work, given Roblox's current notoriety with their very, very poor reporting system, but who knows, we'll see. Maybe it'll actually turn out to be good, and Roblox will continue to improve automatic translations in experiences. The Roblox Assistant AI got some new features this month that now allows the assistant to generate and insert scripts across the entire data model of your game. This feature will likely be useful for new developers who need help understanding where scripts in their game should go, but for the more experienced developers, this feature will likely not be of much value to you. But it's still great to see that new developers are getting more tools to help them along their learning journey. The assistant intelligently uses a combination of your prompt, conversation history, recently created objects by assistant, and the instance you selected in the Explorer to decide where to place the generated script, the type of the script, namely local script, module script, or script, and the content of the script. If you have a specific instance to which you want to attach a script, please select it in the Explorer. If not, Assistant will determine the insertion location for you. A small update for this month was the addition of a new navigation bar so you can seamlessly switch between the, let's say, Roblox documentation, the dev forum, and the dashboard, and so on. So this is a neat little feature that will save you a bit of time, and I'm always for features that save time for developers. A very minor change, but it's now nice that we can swap between, let's say, the dev forum, go over to the roadmap section, or if I need to move over to the documentation, I can do that right along the top here on the Roblox website. German is now available as a language option in Studio. So this will be a great option for any of you German developers out there. Roblox states, today we are happy to share that German is now a language available in Studio. To select this new option, open Roblox Studio, go to File, Studio Settings, and search for the language setting. You should see Deutsch as an option available to you. The inexperienced constructive solid geometry APIs are now available for published experiences. And these are a set of APIs that allow you to dynamically manipulate and create constructive solid geometry during the runtime of your game. I'm not going to dive too deep into these APIs right now, but if you're interested in learning more about it, of course, the link to this post will be in the description. But basically, we have a few APIs here, and they give some examples of what you could do with this API. For example, a player during the runtime of your game can create a bunch of holes and destroy a bridge, which is pretty cool. And now these APIs are available in published experiences, though it seems like it's still in beta. So hopefully there's going to be new features and wider use of this new feature once it fully comes out of beta. Another beta was released this month, which is a brand new material picker that merges the AI material generator and the material manager into one little neat menu. This is another small but useful update that should hopefully help developers save more time when setting the materials for parts in their builds. And as you can see, there's a little button right there where you can hit material. It'll show some of the examples of the materials you can apply, and then there's going to be a button for generating from the AI, or you can open up the material manager. But now with this little menu, it's going to be really easy for you to apply materials and material variants across different parts in your experience. And if we take a look at the example here, they've selected a part and they can hover over all the different materials, and it also updates and shows what that material looks like. So this is going to be quite an interesting and very useful menu, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be using it once it comes out of beta. A summary of the 2024 Roblox roadmap has been released, which details all of the features that have been launched so far this year, what features have been delayed, and what new features are on the roadmap for this year. If you want to learn more about everything that Roblox has planned for 2024, then you're going to want to check out this post, which is going to be linked in the description. Now, since Roblox owns Guilded, the knockoff version of Discord, they have implemented a feature where marketplace items that belong to a particular group can now be displayed directly within Guilded. Now, Roblox has really been trying to push this new communications platform, but they're going to have to make big changes and implement huge improvements if they even want a chance at chipping away at Discord's monopoly in the online communications space. Now, I will say this is kind of a neat feature, but Guilded is quite small and there's not a huge audience for it yet. And if we look at the replies, some people say stuff like this makes it really convincing to try out Guilded for Roblox communities. Still, the audience is with Discord, and I don't see a shift in this adoption anytime soon. Another developer states, I like this feature, but I'm still not using Guilded as my main communication platform. I don't necessarily trust a Roblox-owned platform as my primary online communication source. Do you have any plans to try and combat this stigma? And finally, the last, but certainly not least, and perhaps the coolest release for this month was on the last day of April, and that was the full release of Shorelines, which is an improved system of how voxel water interacts with terrain. And I mean, take a look at how good this looks compared to this previous old system crap. Now, there is an important note that they will be deprecating the old water shores because we can't maintain that system together with Shorelines. We'll share more details on the old water deprecation steps and timeline soon. We recommend to upgrade your place as soon as possible, especially if you're using water with other terrain materials, so you can make sure it looks good to you or make any modifications you need. And to upgrade, you just need to go to Studio and open up the terrain editor, and there should be an option to upgrade the water in your game to support the new shorelines. Alright, and that is all of the changes introduced for the month of April. Tune in next month to learn about all of the changes announced on the dev forum for the month of May. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.